Hey, what's up guys? Min City here back again with another video, and today I am bringing you my review of Fallen of the Round, which is a turn-based roguelike available on the App Store. The link to the game is in the description down below for iOS as well as Android if it's available for Android. Now please leave a like and pop a sub and comment down below. It really helps small channels like mine. But without further ado, let's get right into this review. Art style and sound design. Now, I initially picked up Fallen of the Round for its art style exclusively. Now, the aesthetic that they're going for is like a tabletop miniatures game. So if you've ever seen like Warhammer, or if you've ever seen Dungeons and Dragons, certain types of Dungeons and Dragons games, they have these little painted miniatures, and they're little statues, and they're really detailed. And that's the look that this game is going for, and I think it nails it. I was very impressed by it. These little figures look extremely real, and a lot of it is to do with the lighting effects of this game. So whenever you're playing this game, you're able to rotate the table and look at your figures from any angle that you want in a 360-degree rotation. And the way the lighting hits those figures just makes it feel so real. It looks like you could just reach into the screen and move around the miniatures or these figures yourself. It's really impressive. They really nail the looks of this game. I love how it looks, and I just think it could be a game in real life. I could just see it. Now, however, the sound design is a different story. Now, sound design, they have a fantasy score that plays whenever you're in the battle screen or whenever you're battling with your figures, your miniatures. However, that battle music or that fantasy music that plays cuts in and out abruptly after these battles. So it'll start abruptly. There's no easing into it. There's no sense of flow when it comes in. It just starts automatically whenever you're in the battle, and then it stops abruptly at the end of a battle. Now, outside of battles, there is no music to be had. There's certain sound effects whenever you're clicking on stuff, but other than that, it is a silent game, and it makes it feel kind of awkward. It just feels unfinished when it comes to the sound design of this game. I don't know what's going on with it. So just know that the sound effects are really good and the music that's there is good. It's just the way it's implemented is lacking. So all in all, the game looks beautiful, it nails its aesthetic, and it's really unique and really sets it apart. The music is lacking. Gameplay. Now, first off, Fallen of the Round is a strategic turn-based roguelike. Now, whenever you first start a run, you will be greeted with branching pathways. So these pathways have different nodes that you can click on, and these nodes can have a variety of enemies and events and things to encounter, and you get to choose and go down these pathways however you choose. Now, whenever you click on that, if it's a battle, you'll go into the battle screen. Now, this is what a majority of the game is going to look like. Now, you can place your figures or miniatures within a certain specific area wherever you'd like. Now, you can strategically place those, and then you start the battle. Now, when the battle starts, you will take turns, as well as your enemy, controlling one figure at a time. And so you can tap and drag back on your figure, and depending on what type of figure it is, so there's melee figures, there's ranged figures, there's area effect figures, and whatever type of figure it is. So if it's a melee figure, you'll click on it, you'll pull back on it, and you'll aim it towards the enemy, and it'll move towards the enemy, and if it collides with the enemy, it'll automatically attack. With ranged characters, you're mostly just kind of directing their attacks and they don't move, and area effect characters, depending on what type they are, they're a blend of the two. So that is mainly the combat of this game. Now, you're wanting to position your meteor characters or your characters with more health as a buffer between you and the enemies and your backline, like your archers and stuff like that. So there is some strategy, and I really do like this gameplay because it kind of cuts out the fluff that adds time to strategic turn-based games. This one just cuts out all that fluff, and it's very rapid, it's very fast-paced, while also keeping a lot of that strategy that you see in other strategy turn-based games. I think it's a very unique concept. It is a little bit simpler, but like I said, it really harkens to the core of this genre, which I thought was interesting. Now, whenever you win battles, which you have to destroy all the enemies on the screen to win a battle, once you win the battle, you're awarded one figure of your choice, and they usually give you 3 selections. And these selections can range from different rarities of figures and different classes of figures, like I was mentioning earlier. Now, whenever you gain 3 of these figures that are the same, it will upgrade the existing figure into something different, because you can only have a limited number of figures on the field at once. So you have to strategically choose these figures on what your party needs specifically when it comes to a class or character, as well as making sure that you're upgrading existing characters by getting copies of them. Now, here's an interesting thing. I learned that from a very short blurb on a loading screen in this game. There is no tutorial in this game to speak of, nothing. So you have to learn everything through trial and error and figuring it out yourself, which I feel a very brief tutorial on teaching these things, and instead of randomized little phrases on loading screens would have done this game wonders. You encounter so many frustrations for no reason whatsoever. Now, while we're talking about gripes with the game, there is also a lot of glitches that I have encountered, things where it wouldn't let me place my characters or pick up characters, places where the camera, when I'm rotating the camera, it'll glitch, or it'll make it really difficult to utilize my characters in ways that I'm wanting to. There's just a lot of small glitches here, and those glitches combined with the frustrations of learning this game when you should be able to at least have a basis of knowledge to go off of was kind of frustrating. So it just makes this game feel unfinished, and combined with the sound design that seems really lacking, it just feels like this game was released earlier than it should, or it should have been play tested more. But just know that the core of the gameplay is super solid. Controls. Now, I have touched on the controls of Fallen of the Round in the previous section, but I am going to mention them again. So you tap on figures and you can drag on them, kind of like a slingshot mechanic, to utilize them in the battle, and that works totally fine. It's very good. However, sometimes with those arrows and the directions, it will collide with things that it's saying it won't, which is a little bit interesting. I don't know if that's due to the controls or not, but I'm going to put that in there. You can tap and drag on the table or the environment itself to rotate in 360 degrees, like I've mentioned before. And sometimes that can be a little bit frustrating, because when you're trying to rotate the camera, you might accidentally click on a character and then it's utilizing their attack instead, and you've wasted their attack when you're just trying to rotate and get a good view of the battle itself. And with those glitches, it can make it worse too. Now, I am also going to include in this section that there is no way to save your runs in this game, which there's like no options. There's within the pause screen, there's nothing there to save your game. So whenever you're playing this game, you have to do your entire run in one sitting. If you close out of the app or do anything, it will start you back at square one. So just know that there is no progress to be had if you stop and close out of the game at all. Monetization. Fallen of the Round is available for $2.99 on the App Store. Now, once you purchase it, it is a completely premium experience. You get everything the game has to offer for that $2.99 price tag, and there's nothing to purchase within the game or no DLC. It has received a few updates since its initial release, so I'm assuming that these bugs and other things will slowly be fleshed out. Fingers crossed. Verdict. I think Fallen of the Round has a really cool premise, a really cool core gameplay mechanic when it comes to its battles, and I really like it. It cuts out a lot of the fluff that you see in turn-based roguelites or turn-based strategic games. I really do like it, and I think this has a ton of potential. It's a great idea, and the aesthetics really send it home. Now, like I said, it kind of feels unfinished. It feels like it was released early. It's almost like a beta, and it does have a lot of rough edges, and you will be frustrated with it at times. But maybe you'll still find a lot of fun to be had with this, especially if you really like what you see aesthetically, which is why I came into this game. So I was able to let a lot of the things slide. But just know that if you're going in for a super polished, turn-based strategic roguelike, then this is not it. It's really rough around the edges. But if you're just really wanting to experience something different when it comes to its aesthetics, as well as a really cool core battle mechanic, definitely check it out. Alright guys, that was my review for Fallen of the Round. Don't forget to leave a like and pop a sub if you guys are new, or if you enjoy mobile gaming content, or if this review helped you out in any way. It really means a lot. Again, thank you for 700 subscribers. That's freaking crazy to me. I know it's so small, but I'm grateful for every bit of it. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe, and take it easy.